Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Panel to Panel, in which we talk comic books. And the comic we're talking about today is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, issue number 38. Now, while this may not be the latest issue of Hal Jordan and the GLC, it is the latest issue with art by Ethan Van Sciver, which is why I chose to review this one rather than a later issue. Van Sciver doesn't do every single issue of the series, but he does do certain key issues, key runs, and it's always a treat when you grab an issue of Green Lantern and you see Ethan Van Sciver's name on it as the artist. Not to say that the other artists on this series aren't good. They are. This entire series has been great, but it's always nice to see Van Sciver's work. He's kind of synonymous with Green Lantern ever since Green Lantern Rebirth. 15 years ago now. So let's just jump into this full geek. So we see from the cover that the story is called Zod's Will, and you see General Zod sitting on a throne here. I've always liked this concept in comics, when they take a villain that is traditionally associated with a particular hero and they let some other hero deal with him. Like the Joker is primarily a Batman villain. Zod is primarily a Superman villain. Sinestro, primarily a Green Lantern villain. But then when you mix those things up, it really produces some interesting stories. And that's what we have going on here with General Zod dealing with the Green Lantern Corps. So we see Zod here. He's essentially taken over some alien planet, which the Green Lanterns believe, he has enslaved these people. And this is the middle of the story. So if you go back an issue, our boys here, Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner, have been pretty well throttled by Zod and his family, Kyle Rayner in particular. Now, what's interesting about this title is that it features all of the main human Green Lanterns, at least the most classic ones. Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, Guy Gardner. They're all in this. So, if you have your favorite, or you think one's better than another, in this title you get a little bit of everybody. I really like this issue because it teams up my two favorites, that being Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner, who have seen better days. So then we have this dinner scene with Zod and Hal Jordan kind of being invited to dinner, if you will, which Hal does not eat dinner with Zod and his family. Robert Venditti, who wrote this issue, when I read this, I couldn't help but wonder if he was in some way, consciously or subconsciously inspired by the classic short story, The Most Dangerous Game, where the main character, Rainsford, is trapped on this island with this, psychotic, homicidal General Zaroff. And here we have Zod. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting parallel there. One thing here, it never specifies exactly what Zod and his family are eating here. And so I've got this theory in my head. There's nothing in the issue to disprove it. So I'm just going to go with it, because to me, I thought it would have been a really nice touch that Zod and his family are, let's see if if I can find it again. I thought it'd be interesting if Zod and his family were actually eating one of the natives of the planet. Just showing how little they think of species, people who are not Kryptonian. You know, that they're little more than animals, you know, to be on their dinner table. Now the issue does not say that Zod and his family are eating these people, but I thought it would be a nice touch. And since there's nothing to dispute it, in my head at least, that's what I'm going with. Zod and his family are dining upon a member of this planet's species. All right, so we've got some interesting stuff here with Zod and the others. We see that the Eradicator is studying Green Lantern's ring. We also find that Hal's ring is quite unique in that Hal forged the ring himself out of pure will. So Hal has a special connection to his ring that perhaps is even greater than what most Green Lanterns have with their ring. And so here he is, you know, I don't know how far away he is exactly from his ring here, but we see him concentrating, and he's reciting the Green Lantern oath. And we see something's happening here as Eradicator is studying the ring. And I almost hate to show this page because it is so cool. But hey, if you're in this far, I don't think you're worried too much about spoilers. So here we go. Bam! That is, without a doubt, one of the coolest pages I have seen in a comic book in quite some time. Now, the Eradicator, who's kind of a robot artificial intelligence thing, you know, he'll get better. But just the idea that Hal summoning his ring and it just comes out of this containment field like bam, just right through the Eradicator's head. I mean, that is just awesome. I mean, I remember turning this page and just wow. Really good stuff. And of course, the artwork by Sciver there, phenomenal. And so the ring comes right to Hal. And we see now, you know, he's got Kyle. They're trying to escape. We find that this race of people, you know, they're all shouting Zod, Zod, Zod. And Kyle, being the artist, notices these people's artwork. And he realizes that, hey, Zod didn't exactly enslave these people. They're worshiping him. These people, this primitive alien race of people, they look at Zod as a god. You know, so they're worshiping him, which kind of puts a new spin on things, rather than Zod just flat out enslaving these people by force. Let's skip just a bit here. Ooh, Green Lantern, Earth 1, Volume 1. Definitely got to check that out. All right, so here we see why Hal Jordan is so great. Why Hal Jordan is such an awesome hero. Hal has his ring. He's powered up. He could easily escape, but he chooses not to do that. Hal makes the sacrifice play. You know, Kyle is really hurt. You know, far more so than Hal. So Hal basically gives Kyle his ring so that Kyle can be the one to escape and go get help. You know, he gives the ring the command, you know, get Kyle home. And boom, Kyle is just like supercharged with this energy of Hal's ring. Remember, Hal's ring is kind of unique, you know, very connected to Hal, you know, forged by his own will, by Hal personally. And although Kyle is protesting, Hal sends him away, and now Hal is still Zod's captive. And then we go back to Mogo, where John Stewart and Guy Gardner are awaiting a report on what's going on with Hal and Kyle. And then our final page there, Kyle shows up again, supercharged with Hal energy, and we see a little costume change here. It wasn't long ago that Van Sciver brought back the original Kyle Rayner costume from the 90s, the one designed by Kyle's original co-creator Darryl Banks. I was real glad to see that costume return. Whether this is meant to be permanent or not, here we see a little bit of tweaking to the costume. A lot of the classic elements remain. You know, he has the fingerless gauntlet things. The shape of the mask remains the same. But I like this, how that the off-center Green Lantern logo has now been brought to the center of the chest, and a lot of the white there on the chest is gone. So I think this is a really nice compromise. It honors the original costume, but in my mind fixes some of the things that are a little outdated, that I wasn't exactly crazy about myself. I never really liked the kind of small off-center logo, beyond the fact that I guess it's a bit like a sheriff's badge or something like that off to the side. But really nice design there. And this story continues on into the next couple of issues. And once again, the team of Venditti and Van Sciver knock it out of the park. I highly recommend this issue. In fact, I highly recommend every single issue of this series up to this point. So if this is a comic you go out and buy, I mean, consider it a recommendation. Consider it a hashtag move the needle. A great series to buy and support. Great writing, great artwork. Really enjoy the treat of picking up an issue and seeing Van Sciver on art. Venditti, who had huge shoes to fill. I mean, Venditti came on after Jeff Johns, who, pretty much put his mark on Green Lantern, a mark that will pretty much be there probably for the duration of the character's entire history. And yet Venditti has came in and has really excelled at writing the Green Lantern Corps. I understand that this summer he will be tackling, Venditti that is, will be tackling the character of Hawkman. Really looking forward to that series when the first issue comes out. Hope to be reviewing that, as well as many more issues of various comics to come. So, if you liked this video, please say that you liked it, comment, subscribe, check out all of our content on 5geeks.blog, our blogs, podcasts, YouTube reviews, video game playing, you name it, we do a little bit of all of it here at 5 Geeks. So, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.